Hello. Today I'll demonstrate how to use the Zapier AI tool. Zapier AI combines automation with AI tools like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or Claude. It allows you to create automated workflows where AI can generate emails, summaries, or reports as well as analyze form responses. It can also trigger tasks automatically as well as connect 6,000 plus apps such as Google Forms, Gmail, Notion, Discord, etc. You can build workflows with plain simple language without the requirement of any coding. Now, in order to create a Zapier account, we simply have to log into Zapier by typing zapier.com onto Google and signing up by Google or an email login. Now, after that, you have to input your preferences and you will be logged in directly to the Zapier homepage. Now, as you can see, this is how the Zapier homepage looks like. You can see Zap, which can be used for automating workflows, tables, which can be used for automated data, interface where we can form apps, forms, as well as pages, and the chatbot specifically pertaining for Zapier AI tool is called as a copilot. Now we also have Canvas that can be used to process visualization. Now as you can see here, we also have a tab where it indicates unfinished zaps as well as the possibility to create any new zap. Now the popular templates offered by Zapier AI is are many actually that includes Google Sheets as well as Google Forms, Google Forms connecting with ChatGPT as well as Gmail, ChatGPT connecting with Gmail, and so forth and so on. Now, today we'll be demonstrating how exactly to make a Zap. That is an automated workflow where we are going to show how we can automate an email reply once an individual or once somebody has submitted a response onto Google Forms. So, in order to do that, first we'll be inputting the instruction of when someone submits a response in Google Forms, send them a thank you email via Gmail onto the Copilot chatbot to generate the output. So now I'll be sending this input. Here, as you can see, the chatbot is auto-generating Zap, which includes trigger that will be the Google Forms and action that will be the Gmail, which I will explain further. Now, the next step is for us to continue with the Zap editor. Here, we can see on the left panel, our Copilot chatbot is automatically generating the steps that we need to have for the automated workflow for in order to create this app, which includes our Google Forms as well as our Gmail. Meanwhile, the generation is on. We can go onto the Untitled app and rename our file. I'll rename this as student feedback. Our chatbot is still generating. Now we can close this and go on to understanding what exactly is happening here. As you can see, Google Forms and Gmail are open as two workflows. Now, here, Google Form acts as the trigger. That is, once there's a response from a Google form that has been received, the Gmail or the mail will be automatically sent to the responder. That is, the Gmail here acts as the action. That is, once there is a trigger from the Google Forms, there's an action from the Gmail. Now here, when we go onto the Google Forms, we can see a green tick mark here, whereas for Gmail, there's an exclamation mark. Now, in order to convert this exclamation mark into the green tick mark, what we have followed for Google Forms is as follows. That is, we have to first go onto the setup. In the setup, we have this first slide called as app. In app, we have the option to change from Google Forms to Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Sheets, etc. as ever, whichever one that you like for your specified or particular or personalized use. Now, since we need Google Forms as our trigger, we've already automatically selected Google Forms. Now, the trigger event. In order to choose a trigger event, we can either choose a new form response or the new or the updated form response. Now, the difference between these two instructions are now, once there is a Google form, it will either consider the data that has been first recorded, that is the first option, or it will consider the second data that has been modified when somebody chooses or wishes to edit their already inputted response. Now, we require to the already modified, or if someone is to edit their response, we require that to be taken into consideration as well. So we will be choosing the second option. Now the next one is account. You simply have to log into your account. Here I've been signed into my account, which will finally complete your setup configuration. Now we'll press continue. Next, we'll be going on to configuration. That is, what form exactly are you choosing from your respective Google Forms? That is, the Google Forms that you have logged into via your Gmail or Outlook mail. You have to choose what Google Forms are you going to be taking for this particular prompt. Now, here I'll be choosing the student feedback. Once that's done, you can press on continue. Now, in order to test if our Google Forms trigger is working, we can test the trigger. And in order to do that, we can take records that have already been submitted in the Google Forms as just an example for it to run further simulations. So this is one of the responses that we have received. And now we're going to take an example or use this as an example for our simulation. Now we can continue with the selected record. And we can test the step. So as you can see, our test is also completed. Our test trigger has all been successful. Now moving on to Gmail, since you can see the exclamation mark here, what we need to do is similarly set up our Gmail as well. So the first one is, again, we'll have to choose the app pertaining to what exactly our workflow is. And so for the second one, we have chosen Gmail, since that is what we require as our action. Now, the action event will be send email. We also have other options such as add label to email, archive email, or even create a draft. But since we only need to simply send an email, we are only choosing that option. Now, again, you have to sign into your account and press continue in order to successfully complete the setup part of this aspect. Now we'll be moving on to configuration. Now configuration can be seen as the following. So first one is, whom exactly are we sending this mail to? Now since once you click on this cursor, you can see the slash for field mapping. So now when you input the slash button, you have Copilot suggestions that indicates whom exactly or what exactly it is that from your specified Google Forms that you can select in order for it to send to that particular Gmail. So we can either type an email or the respondent email. In both the cases, it is going to be sent to the corresponding email ID. I've chosen that. Now, next, moving on to CC or BCC. You can either choose any Gmail ID or any other mail ID as to be kept in CCC as well as BCC. Now, from will be our email account, and from name can be inserted as anything you desire. Now, the subject can be thank you for your response to the feedback. To the feedback. Body type, now body type will be plain. Now here I've already inputted an option where there's an automatically generated reply to having submitted a response to a Google form. Now, hi there. So now we require any mail to be sent out to that particular responder's email ID. So it requires to be dynamic. So how exactly do Zapier AI actually conform to this? Now, as we saw before, inputting a slash will actually give us Copilot suggestions on exactly what we can choose in order to address them. So hi there, and we can use name in order to address the person that we're trying to send the mail to. So hi there, name. Thank you so much for taking the time to submit your response to our student feedback form. We appreciate your input. Your feedback is valuable to us and will help improve our services. So, your feedback, in that column, we can again add a slash and write and add the feedback column as to what exactly that they have given the feedback for. That will make the email a little bit more personalized to whatever the responder has responded with. As we can even add attachments if we desire. Now, as I'm done with my input of instructions, I'm going to press continue. Now we have to test if the email is working or not. In order to do that, we're just simply going to select the test step option. Now we've gotten a tick mark here to actually see if we have gotten an email and if this automated workflow has worked. We can go and check in our mail. So here we can see that we have received an email for the form that we have submitted. Going back, we can publish the Zap and that will keep running. Now, our Zap has been published and it is successfully running right now. Now we can go to the home page to see what what exactly has happened. So now here we can see recently updated is a student feedback form, and here we can see that the Zap is on. And here we can also see that we have integrated Google Forms and Gmail successfully and it is still running. Now if we want to off the Zap, what we can simply do is select the student feedback and off it. Turn the Zap off. So now once that is done, no longer the responses are no longer taken in and no other emails are going to be forwarded automatically. So this is one example of how exactly we can use Zapier AI tool to integrate different apps in order to automate our workflows and as well as automate our data. So now who exactly can use it is the admin staff automating form responses or schedules, even students who are tracking assignments, feedback as well as teachers or faculty managing communication or feedback. Thank you.